Might see some showers and storms, mainly late on Saturday with a high of 74. Partly cloudy on Sunday with a high of 68. It's 66 degrees in Milwaukee at 4:16.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
Well, actually, Amy Taylor, it's the 3 at 4:16, but we like to stay on brand here on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
We can't give up the music.
I know, of course. It's the way we start a show. So whether it's the 3 at 3 or the 3 at 4:16, we'll give you the top headlines and things that we are following.
Exactly. And
That
today
includes?
we are following the clock. It's ticking toward a major strike of the United Auto Workers Union, which could shut down plants across the country. The contract expires at 11:59 tonight.
Yeah, so Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis, that's formerly Fiat Chrysler, have until the end of the day, 11:59, to reach an agreement or face potential strike. This would be massive. You're talking about 140,000 plus members of the United Auto Workers Union. So the last strike or last walkout was back in 2019, but that only affected GM. But still, that was about $1 billion loss for General Motors. So this would be the first UAW strike since 2019, and it would include all three of these major manufacturers, right? So we've never seen anything quite to this magnitude. What could this mean for you and me? That could mean paying more for a vehicle. It could mean supply chain issues. That could be greatly affected. So what do the United Auto Workers want? Well, they want a 46% pay increase, which is hefty. They also want a 32-hour work week with 40 hours of pay. Now, keep in mind, these are negotiating points. This maybe not the final deal points of what could be a finalized deal that they hopefully come upon here before the end of the day or evening. But those are some of the outlined wants, according to their union president.
I thought it was interesting that GM CEO Mary Barra sent a letter to employees, and she said their latest offer now includes a 20% raise with an immediate 10% pay hike. That's a solid raise. So that would take the lower-end employees from $20 an hour, which represents a 20% raise from the current $16.67. She calls the offer historic.
It is. I mean, we could be on the lookout for anything historic here, right? The deal points that are in the negotiated work or detail work with the UAW, or we're looking at a historic strike of 140,000 plus workers. So we are on top of this throughout the day. Most likely, my gut and everything that I'm reading is that they will not have a deal done before we get off the air tonight at 6. So the clock is ticking toward that deadline.
We'll be watching that. Hunter Biden has been indicted on federal firearms charges. That's the latest step in a long-running investigation into the president's son, which has not been good for the president.
Yeah, this news broke in the noon hour today. So Biden is accused of lying about his drug use when he bought a firearm in 2018. And that was a troubling period of his life where he was struggling with an addiction to crack cocaine. He lied about it, right? Said he was not under the influence of drugs when he purchased the handgun. And that is a no-no. Can't do that. So Republicans have no trust for Hunter Biden. The ethics behind his business dealings are in question. They are trying to track him down, trying to figure out if President Joe Biden aided Hunter in any of his business dealings and if those dealings were misguided. And Republicans have testimony about how Hunter Biden used the Biden brand to drum up work overseas. They don't have any hard evidence, according to any of the reports that I'm seeing, of wrongdoing, but they are certainly on the lookout for it. So 3 crimes Hunter Biden is charged with. 2 counts of alleged false statements he made while purchasing a gun, 1 count of illegal possession of a gun while being addicted to drugs. A date has not been set for his first court appearance.
It's interesting to see how this is reflecting upon the president, whose approval ratings are so low right now. And the question that you brought up was, what exactly is the hard evidence? They've been looking at his dealings in China. They've been looking at his dealings as a lobbyist in Ukraine. And so far, they haven't been able to find anything. And so they ended up on this gun charge, which the special prosecutor, Vice, went after. And so it'll be interesting to see how if this is going to affect the election for the president.
So Biden's lawyer says that Hunter's possession of a gun for 11 days was not a threat to public. I don't think that's the issue here. I think the issue is that he lied in trying to purchase a handgun, right? You cannot do that, right? Whether he had it for 2 days, 19 days, or 6 months.
You can't lie. This is a charge that usually goes along with other charges. So it hasn't been prosecuted this way before with just a standalone lying on the form type of thing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that and how strong a case that is. But there's no doubt that this is just hurting the president right now. And as a father, you can imagine how you'd feel with a drug-addicted son who's now accused of lying right as you're about to have an election. It's just terrible timing.
Sure. And finally, the biggest story we're following locally here.
Planned Parenthood in Wisconsin is Wisconsin's largest provider of abortions, and they announced today that they will resume state services in the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's a major local story here. Abortions have been unavailable in Wisconsin for more than a year after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, a very controversial decision that legalized abortions in the U.S. for 50 years before it was struck down in 2022. So back into effect is this law going back to 1849 that was interpreted by Planned Parenthood and other providers as banning all abortions except in situations where the mother could die. So abortions will resume at Planned Parenthood clinics in Milwaukee and Madison on Monday, and this issue will no doubt be front and center, especially in Wisconsin, as the ramp up to the 2024 election continues.
We'll be talking with Executive Director of Planned Parenthood in Wisconsin, Tanya Atkinson, coming up at 5:15 today. She'll be discussing this, what triggered it. Dane County Judge Diane Schlipper said in a lawsuit that it could go forward to challenge this ban. This was back in July, where she signaled that she did not agree that there's actually an abortion ban in Wisconsin. The legal standing that Planned Parenthood is working on is that they believe that the judge said the law does not prohibit a consensual medical abortion, meaning the two parties are agreeing to an abortion, and that then therefore it is not feticide, that it is not a murder because the two parties have consented. And so that's an interesting legal argument. We're going to talk to the executive director, Tanya Atkinson, about that coming up at 5:15.
It's a major local story, and again, this will kind of get back into the flow of things here with Planned Parenthood clinics in Milwaukee and Madison. I'm always interested in the timing of any of this stuff, and any of the stuff that we talked about here with Biden's indictment, with Planned Parenthood announcing they will resume abortions in Wisconsin. The timing is always interesting to me, and it's certainly at a very interesting time in our political cycle as we approach the 2024 election. This will be a major, major hot-button item nationally, but especially here in the state.
This is, and especially with the Supreme Court Justice Janet Protasevich scheduled to take her place on the Supreme Court. They now have the liberal majority, 4-3. So this will be an interesting situation to see how this goes forward.
Very interesting stuff indeed. We'll get you caught up to date with a market update. We've got bottom of the hour headlines coming up in a few moments as well. Want to tell you first about my friends at the Hounds and Tap. It is the ultimate hangout for hounds and humans. That's right. It's called the Hounds and Tap. It's in Menomonee Falls. It's a beautiful and gorgeous 12,000 square foot facility. It is designed for dogs. If you've ever had an issue wondering, hey, who's going to watch my dog when we go on vacation or if we go up north, anywhere where you may not be able to take your dog or would prefer not to, that's why you have the Hounds and Tap. For boarding, it's the Hounds and Tap. For doggy daycare, if you've just got a busy day at work, you can take your dog to the Hounds and Tap. Professional grooming services are on site. They even have a tavern, so why not just catch a game in a local Wisconsin beer with or without your dog? It's an inside-outside tavern. There's food trucks almost nightly. It's just a wonderful place to hang out, and it's incredibly clean. Designed for your dog. It's a playground. It's a theme park, if you will, for dogs, and you'll have a great time there yourself. The goal? Connect hounds and humans to make every day a play day. We've made it easier for you here. If you want more information on the Hounds and Tap, do this. Just text the word dog to our text line, 855-616-1620. Very simple. Just text the word dog to 855-616-1620 and get familiar with the Hounds and Tap in Menomonee Falls.
What's that sound?
That's the sweet sound of you, small business owner, not having to worry about cybersecurity.
Sounds nice.
U.S. Cellular is offering cybersecurity protection with unlimited data for $29.99 per line.
Does that include protection from phishing?
Of course, unless you mean like the kind. Get cybersecurity protection with unlimited data for $29.99. U.S. Cellular, built for business, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
We want to decrease your pain as fast as possible. When we inject our powerful, FDA-approved anti-inflammatory and cushioning medicine precisely guided to the root of your pain, in most cases, relief in hips, shoulders, elbows, and knees is a reality. For those who go through our entire process, we can very much control and reduce your pain while increasing your quality of life. Thousands of Rejuvenex patients maintain their pain relief with semi-annual to annual treatments, proven to reduce inflammation, to make pain a lot more bearable. Some providers may charge up to $8,000 for similar treatments. At Rejuvenex, because we're in network with most major insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid, your out-of-pocket expense could be as low as $400, or less, or nothing at all. I'm Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Pain Clinics, where you can find pain relief. Really.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
Quick look at the markets here. It's an Annex Wealth Management market update. What a great day for the markets. The Dow finishes up over 330 points to close at 34,907.11. The NASDAQ also up today, 112 points to close at 13,926.05. Good day for the S&P as well, closing up 37.66 at 45.0510. Locally, Generac up about 0.25% at 111.92. And Manpower Group up a little over 0.33%. They close at 74.20. For expert financial advice from a fiduciary, you can trust Annex Wealth Management and check them out online at annexwealth.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
Help fellow commuters. See an accident? Call the WTMJ Hall Mazda Traffic Tip Line, 414-238-9329. Visit Hall Mazda to support their Drive Out Cancer event. Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm Wyatt Parmar Pooley. Your top stories, major developments on abortion and elections.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. We did have an accident, 4394 southbound at Beecher. They were able to get that one off the freeway. However, damage is done. It's over an hour right now from Brown Deer Road into downtown. So be prepared for that. And then from downtown to Layton Avenue is going to be another 21 minutes, 14 extra. Westbound on 94 out of the Marquette, heading out to about Hawley Road. That's where you're going to see most of those delays. And the eastbound side, slow from 84th Street to about 35th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, we're going to have mainly clear skies. It'll be cool with a low of 54 at the lake. It'll be around 50 degrees inland. Tomorrow it's going to be mostly sunny, breezy, and warm. We're going to have a high of 80 degrees. At 4:30 in Milwaukee, it's 67 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a developing story we've been following closely here on WTMJ. Abortion services will return to Wisconsin.
Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin says it will begin offering abortion services starting Monday. CEO Tanya Atkinson on WTMJ Now.
We announced this morning that Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin will be resuming abortion services at our Milwaukee and our Madison Health Centers. Appointments are open today, and the services will begin on Monday.
Atkinson says the decision to reoffer services stems from a ruling made by a judge in Dane County Circuit Court this past July. Now, the abortion case will ultimately end up before the state Supreme Court. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Assembly Speaker Robin Vos says he's concerned with the decision to begin offering services since lawsuits are still pending.
If Planned Parenthood is so convinced that they are going to win at the state Supreme Court, that they are willing to break the law, which the law in the book still is the 1849 statute, it's just another reminder that some people flout the law whether or not it's on the books or not.
Vos says he expects private outside groups to challenge the decision, but not the legislature. Planned Parenthood Medical Director Dr. Allison Linton says at this point they don't know how many women will take advantage of the services if they do in fact start Monday.
We are going to be sort of adapting as fast as possible and as quickly as possible. So it's going to be sort of in constant motion over the next couple of weeks, looking at schedules from day to day.
The Madison and Milwaukee locations are the only Planned Parenthood locations in Wisconsin where the services will resume. The Wisconsin State Senate has voted 22-11 to oust Wisconsin Elections Commission Administrator Megan Wolf after an extended conversation on the validity of the vote.
22 ayes, 11 noes. The appointment of Megan Wolf is rejected.
The result of the vote was expected by many both inside and outside of the Senate chamber Thursday. However, Senator Mark Spreitzer of Beloit said before the roll call he saw no reason for the vote to even take place.
Regardless of any vote, Megan Wolf will continue in her position as long as she's willing to serve and as long as the bipartisan commission is willing to have her.
Nevertheless, the motion of rejection laid forth by Senate Majority Leader Devin Lemonhew was upheld by Senate Chair Chris Kapenga. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Megan Wolf herself speaking this afternoon after the vote, saying she will stay in her position unless ordered to leave by a court.
During my 12 years working as a nonpartisan election official, I've learned that when politicians on either side of the aisle are upset with me, it's usually because I will not bend to political pressure. The Senate's vote today to remove me is not a referendum on the job I do, but rather a reaction to not achieving the political outcome they desire.
Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul this afternoon announcing that he's already filed a lawsuit seeking an order declaring that Wolf is lawfully staying in her current position and that the Senate has no power to vote to reject her without her being nominated to the appointment. President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, has been indicted by Trump-appointed special counsel David Weiss on 3 felony gun charges. Those charges related to giving false statements and illegal possession of a firearm. ABC's chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce on the timing of the charges.
The fact that this is just 2 days after House Republicans launched that impeachment inquiry into President Biden, very much centering around Hunter Biden. Of course, there has been no evidence brought forward of any wrongdoing by the president, but all of this taken together shows again that Republicans are not going to let this issue drop, and we know that politically this is going to present a real headache for this administration.
The younger Biden is already facing the potential of tax charges as well. It'll be a few more weeks before Waukesha residents will have Lake Michigan water flowing through their pipes. The city will now transition from groundwater on October 9th. According to a statement from the Waukesha Water Utility, this delay allows them to set a firm date and allow residents and businesses time to prepare for the switch. The transition to the new supply of Lake Michigan water will move approximately 50 million gallons of water through more than 300 miles of water mains over the course of several weeks, starting on the east side of the city of Waukesha. University of Wisconsin system enrollment increased this fall compared to the previous year for the first time since 2014. President Jay Rothman.
I am particularly heartened by the 3% increase in first-year students when we exclude Madison, and Madison had managed its first-year class down due to capacity reasons, but that 3% increase across our other universities is great to see.
The 5 schools showing overall increases were UW-Madison, Green Bay, Platteville, Stevens Point, and Whitewater, while several others, including UW-Milwaukee, showing modest.
Current Electric, Outdoor Living Unlimited, and Kohler Services. Join us every week to discuss ways to weatherproof your home here on News Radio 620 WTMJ. If you can't catch us live, visit Wagner's Home Improvement Showcase under Features on WTMJ.com.
This is a year of change for Wisconsin football. Whether it's a new quarterback or coach, our teams will be exciting to watch this season. As Wisconsin's 3PL, Evans Transportation knows a thing or two about changing things up when it comes to manufacturers' accounting, shipping, and tracking needs. Call Evans if your supply chain team isn't running on all cylinders this season. Good luck to our Wisconsin football teams from Wisconsin's 3PL in Delafield. Find them at evanstrans.com. That's evanstrans.com.
To the best crew in baseball, this is for you. Join Brewers Fan Appreciation Weekend September 15th through the 17th. As a special thank you, enjoy buy one, get one beer on Friday the 15th. Gate giveaways all weekend, including 2024 Brewers ticket vouchers and a Fan Appreciation Night William Contreras bobblehead giveaway on Saturday the 16th. Grab your seats at brewers.com/fan appreciation.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first, and then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
What's that sound?
That's the sweet sound of you, small business owner, not having to worry about cybersecurity.
Sounds nice.
U.S. Cellular is offering cybersecurity protection with unlimited data for $29.99 per line.
Does that include protection from phishing?
Of course, unless you mean like the kind. Get cybersecurity protection with unlimited data for $29.99. U.S. Cellular, built for business, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Start your weekend tonight with a free dinner at the Fox and Hounds. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The Fox and Hounds was recently voted the best supper club in the area. It opened in 1933 and has been serving world-class dinners for almost 90 years in their gorgeous rustic timber structure. Order your favorite steak like the delicious tenderloin Oscar, salmon, pasta, big fresh salad, even the surf and turf. Your second dinner's free. Desserts and ice cream drinks, too. I just had the hot fudge sundae out there. It is the biggest sundae ever. Add a Manhattan, an old-fashioned, or choose from over 100 wines and a great beer selection to accent your dinner. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the historic Holy Hill Shrine. As the seasons begin to change, you got to check it out. It's beautiful. Weekends, maybe a little too busy for some, so enjoy a free quiet dinner tonight. And the Friday Cod Fish Fry is all you care to eat, and it's just $15.99. What a value. I love that fish fry. And the amazing beer garden is super special. Reserve your table, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
According to the U.S. debt clock, our debt is over $32 trillion and climbing. The question is, how do we pay it off? One of the most likely answers is increasing taxes. Now think about your retirement accounts. Do you want to pay taxes on some of that money now when rates are historically low, or later when rates are potentially higher? At Drake & Associates, we can help you create a plan so your retirement is tax efficient as possible. If you'd like to continue your education, we have our Retirement Ready Toolkit, which includes guides on retirement tax savings. To receive this complimentary toolkit, call or text TAX to 414-409-9982. That's calling or texting TAX to 414-409-9982. When taxes go up, will you be ready? Call or text now.
Investment advisory services provided by Drake & Associates, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Insurance products are offered through a separate company, Loft Financial Advisory Group, LLC, a Wisconsin insurance agency. Clients are under no obligation to purchase any recommended insurance products.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Greg Matzik and Amy Taylor with you until 6 o'clock tonight. Afternoon Brewers baseball here on WTMJ. We're just kind of getting started here with Wisconsin's afternoon news on a Thursday. Beautiful weather day and weather week on tap. We'll get you the details coming up in just a moment. So the judge overseeing the Georgia election interference case has severed the case, and 17 defendants, including former President Donald Trump, will not be tried alongside speedy trial defendants Kenneth Chesebro and Sidney Powell on October 23rd. In fact, Trump already waived his speedy trial rights. So for more on this story and to help explain its significance, we welcome in from ABC, it is Andy Field. Hello, Andy.
Hey, Greg, how are you?
You're doing well. Can you walk us through the significance of the judge's decision today?
It's a pretty big deal. It's basically pretty much everyone who is a defendant in this case is getting what they wanted, except Kenneth Chesebro and Sidney Powell, who wanted to have separate trials, and they wanted a speedy trial. So they are getting their speedy trial on October 23rd, but they've got to have it together. Chesebro is accused of trying to get these false electors through into the Capitol to vote and overturn the election. Sidney Powell, of course, we know is one of Donald Trump's former attorneys who has made multiple false claims and has other charges against her. Their trial is going to happen in about a month. The rest of the defendants, we don't know when the trials are going to be, but we know that they're going to be separated from those two, and there's a good chance that some of them may be separated even further, which is not what the prosecutor wanted. She wanted everyone to pile into one courtroom and say, hey, here's all the charges. It's a RICO charge, and let's do this here. So it's going to make her job a little bit more difficult. The Fulton County judge basically says, look, logistically, there is no courtroom big enough to put all 19 defendants and their attorneys and their support staff and the deputies and the court personnel and the prosecutors And even if they moved it to, a nearby stadium, then they'd have security concerns. So that's logistically one of the big problems here. And also the time of the trial. The prosecutors have already said it could take 4 months and have over 150 witnesses. That's just the trial. To get the jurors seated, that could take several months. So none of this seems to be ready to be happening anytime soon.
Andy, why was it important for the president to have this trial severed, and do you think it's going to coincide with the election?
Well, definitely coincide with something. I mean, this election goes for the next year with primaries and such, and that's all based on the premonition that he will win his party's nomination again, and he'll be the nominee. But he's got a bunch of other trials, too, and, logistically, you cannot be in two places at once. So if he's sitting in a courtroom in New York, he can't be sitting in a courtroom in Georgia. And this has become just a logistical nightmare for everyone because you've got 2 federal cases and 2 local cases, one in New York, the hush money payment, and, of course, this here. Donald Trump's advantage would be to delay all of this as long as possible, with the hope, he thinks, of winning re-election and then becoming president and telling his Justice Department to drop everything. Although he cannot tell his Justice Department to drop the charges in New York City or in Georgia because he does not have that power if he becomes president again. So a lot of this is just delay, and for the delay crowd, they got some really good news today.
Switching gears, Andy, Hunter Biden charged with 3 crimes, 2 counts of alleged false statements he made while purchasing a gun, 1 count of illegal possession of a gun while being addicted to drugs, indicted today. 2-part question, does the timing surprise you, and what's the timeline now moving forward?
Excuse me. Well, the timing is not surprising because I think the statute of limitations on these gun charges run out next month, so the prosecutor had to do something quickly. This is a 5-year-old gun charge. And what he is charged with is lying about his drug use on a gun permit application. Something, by the way, that prosecutors would have never known about it, except for the fact that Hunter Biden actually wrote about it in his autobiography. He said that he was under the influence of drugs during the years that he had gotten that he received that gun license and applied for it. That's the evidence that the prosecutor is going to go up against, and it's probably one of the reasons they made a plea deal, because it's very hard to use your own evidence written in a book against yourself in a court case. So Hunter's lawyers came out today and said, look, we had a plea deal here. You can't go back on this. And they're probably going to bring that up to the judge. Also, Hunter's attorney saying that several federal courts have said that the laws behind this drug use charge and not being truthful on there were unconstitutional. They're going to challenge it on that. And one other thing they said is that the younger Biden, Hunter Biden, owning what they call, quote, an unloaded gun for 11 days was never a threat to public safety. So they're going to question all the reasons for bringing this charge and hopefully try to get it thrown out in court before it goes any further.
This hasn't been good for the president. This trial could coincide with the election. Is there a sense that this is this part of the reason that Biden's approval ratings are so low? Prosecutors have been using Hunter Biden's work abroad to try to build a case against Biden. And what's the evidence that we're seeing?
Well, in terms of, that's a whole different thing. It's not the gun charge, but it's tax charges. It's claims by the Republicans to this date unproven in any way, shape, or form, other than people saying, I think he might have. It smells bad, but there is not a single check or a dime that the Republicans have been able to prove that went from Hunter Biden's pocket into President Joe Biden's pocket. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. Doesn't mean there isn't an offshore account somewhere where it happened. But that would subject Joe Biden to all kinds of criminal charges if indeed that was the case. He insists it isn't. He has already released 20 years of tax returns and financial statements, and none of it shows millions of dollars having passed from his son or even some of these shell companies into his own pocket. Yet the Republicans have now opened an impeachment inquiry based on their feeling that it probably happened, and they just need to get some facts to back up their feeling.
ABC's Andy Field checking in with us. Andy, we appreciate it. We'll check in again soon.
Thanks.
You bet. 4:45 on WTMJ.
Hey, Wisconsin, winter is right around the corner. Get your house ready before the cold hits. WTMJ's Jeff Wagner here for Wagner's Home Improvement Showcase, brought to you by senior real estate specialists Bruce and Jean Nemovitz, Hair Construction, Current Electric, Outdoor Living Unlimited, and Kohler Services. Join us every week to discuss ways to weatherproof your home here on News Radio 620 WTMJ. If you can't catch us live, visit Wagner's Home Improvement Showcase under Features on WTMJ.com.
Hey, thanks, Jeff. Hey, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you this. QC Kinetics can change your life. That's right. You can live again without that chronic joint pain and without drugs or surgery. Greg Matzik here, reminding you that QC Kinetics is advanced regenerative medicine. They take your own body's concentrated healing properties and put them right into your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue that's causing all the horrible pain. And the patient satisfaction reports are astonishing. You've got a real alternative to the old ways of dealing with pain. And unlike surgery, there is no downtime with the QC Kinetic treatments. So if you have that constant pain in your knees or your hips, your shoulder, maybe your back, give a call to QC Kinetics. A free consultation awaits you. Imagine this fall, beautiful weather, moving around, pain-free, doing stuff outside, hikes, runs, whatever you want to do, do it. Give yourself that quality of life back. Call QC Kinetics, see how the latest advances in precision regenerative medicine can attack your pain and bring you that lasting relief. Now's a great time to get started. They are right here in Milwaukee. Give them a call, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
Buckle up. It's all systems go at Potawatomi. Plug in to high wattage play and you could win an all-electric BMW i7. Play now through September with your club card. Prize drawings on Thursdays. There's a shocking $800,000 in total prizes on the line, including the luxury BMW i7. It's time to electrify your drive. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. More info at paysbig.com/BMW. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Accurate Basement Repair and Outdoor Living Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
4:48 on a Thursday. The ball game is done. The roads are packing up. Debbie Loziga's got a look. Hey, Deb.
Hey there. Yeah, it is a bit backed up right now. We've got eastbound 94 at 84th Street off on the right shoulder. We got a crash there, and that's adding to the headaches already there all the way through the stadium interchange. Westbound's going to be solid out of the Marquette out past Hawley Road. Southbound 43 still remains a very heavy ride, over an hour from Brown Deer Road into downtown. Most of it happening from about Good Hope Road all the way down into the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Does not really let up until you get to about the KK River. So give yourself tons of extra time if you're going to be heading through that area. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Clear and cool tonight. 50 degrees inland, 54 near the lake. Friday, mostly sunny, breezy, and warm with a high of 80. Nice weekend on tap. Saturday, you might see a bit of storms or rain later in the night. 74 degrees, your high. Partly cloudy with a high of 68 on Sunday. 66 degrees in Milwaukee at 4:49. All right, and so the headline is attention-grabbing. The cleanest city in America is Milwaukee. That's what a new study says. There's a story in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, and it's based upon a study that indicates Milwaukee is the cleanest city in America.
I thought that this was just a big story.
How do you react when you just, the headline grabs you, right?
I saw it this morning, and I'm like, wow, we're the cleanest city in America? It never even occurred to me.
Well, we're not. Well, there's no way Milwaukee is the cleanest city in America. There's not a chance in the world that Milwaukee is the cleanest city in America.
Drive down 43 in the winter about February and March, and then call me and tell me how clean it is.
Okay, so the story got me, by the way. Effective headline. Well done.
It definitely was a good hook.
You lured me in. So this large-scale study released Tuesday claims Milwaukee is the cleanest city in America. So the study was conducted by HouseFresh. They're an online publication. They focus on air quality issues, indoor filtration products, yada, yada, yada. They analyzed 12.3 million sanitation-related complaints placed over the last year.
That's a fun job, by
in
the way.
cities across America. Yeah, you got that straight. They included complaints regarding garbage, waste, and recycling. So the way they calculated the cleanest cities in America was looking at the number of complaints per 100,000 residents. And with only 309,311 complaints per 100,000 residents, Milwaukee, therefore, is the cleanest city in America.
That just doesn't hold for me.
Pardon the phrase, but that's a bunch of garbage right there. To me, it means that maybe Milwaukeeans just aren't complaining as much. Maybe we're just nice people.
They're just not picking up the phone because they're nice Midwestern folks, and they don't want to call and complain.
Complaints per 100,000 residents. So number one on the list, I guess this would be the dirtiest city in America, Baltimore. Yeah, a bunch of complainers out there, a bunch of sad sacks.
I've never been to Baltimore. Have you?
I have. I spent a week there one day.
Do you recall it being particularly dirty?
No. I think I flew into the airport because it was an easy drive to Washington, D.C. in a quicker way, and it was less expensive. I spent a little time there.
So you didn't see
Fells Point is kind of a little district.
Mhm.
It was fine, but there were also, to me, in my opinion, being out there were more places not to go than places to go. Sacramento is number 2 on the list.
That was well said, by
Thank
the
you.
way. Very diplomatic.
Number 3 on the list is Charlotte, North Carolina. See, now that, to me, that is a beautiful city.
That seems totally right.
And
Kansas City is actually a beautiful city, too.
Number 4 is Los Angeles. Number 5 is Memphis. Memphis is a little beat up at times. L.A. is just kind of a pit. And you also have just several million people living there. My contention is that Milwaukee is, I don't think it's a filthy, dirty, awful city. I would fall very short of saying it's the cleanest city in America.
It just really, it doesn't seem like that's what we're known for.
You know, it doesn't say anything about the population. And if there was a population, all right, so
Can
to
we
me,
put this in context a little, please?
well, to me, you got to have at least 100,000 residents in your city to register on the list, right?
Well, right. But are we talking about trash on the road, or are we talking about
Milwaukee has that.
Street cleaning? We do have street cleaners. I do remember moving here and thinking, well, that town has a lot of street cleaners.
I think we have some nice medians.
We got some nice, but not the best.
No.
Not the most beautiful medians. We could do a little more dolling up, flowers and grass and
Graffiti's a thing. Now I'm all encompassing on Milwaukee here. So I'm trying to look at this as Milwaukee County. So I'm trying to give Milwaukee a little bit benefit of the doubt. So I'm thinking, anything from 3rd Ward west to Wauwatosa, like trying to expand
up toward Brown Deer.
There you go. That is also Milwaukee County. I just don't drive through Milwaukee and say, man, this city is so clean.
It's so sparkling. It does look better now that we have our roads getting better. We're getting there. Although I sat in traffic today, but it is better. With some of the highways looking cleaner and nicer, don't you think that makes a big difference? It's not the same as going around
I think
on the
it
surface
does.
streets.
I even think that road construction adds a bit to that, right? When they redid all the interchange stuff downtown, that looked really nice, and the vegetation started growing in.
Looks so much better.
Looks pretty cool. Now, in my experience, the dirtiest city I have ever been to in the United States was New Orleans.
Oh, really?
And it's New Orleans, the Grand Canyon, and then every other city I've ever been to.
I thought you were going to say New York.
New York is dirty. New Orleans is
Parts of New York seem really grimy.
You go to New Orleans in the summer, and there's just a scent that permeates throughout that city that is just wretched.
Oh, really? Is it like sewer, or what is it?
Yes, it's awful. The food is incredible.
Is it
and
musty?
It's everything, because it's so humid.
So humid, it's just rotting
You're
moss.
just saturated.
Yeah.
And if you're in Bourbon Street, St.
Another
Peter's,
place I haven't been, which is weird.
you can have a lot of fun in New Orleans. Don't get me wrong.
I'm going to now. Based
And I've
on
had
you.
a lot of fun in New Orleans. I also think it's the dirtiest city I've ever been to.
I heard it can be a little dangerous, too.
Can be.
Yeah.
Walk in
As
groups.
Any place can be now.
So congratulations, Milwaukee. You did it.
That's really funny.
Hey, I'll take the headline. It's good
Cleanest
for the city.
city in America is good for us.
I just don't happen to agree with it. That's all. It's 4:55 on WTMJ.
Now's when the summer heat is working your AC system into overtime. And after this long, it may be on borrowed time. But some of these systems really can last, especially Armstrong Air Pro Series systems. When your AC system says its final goodbye, think of the man in the red van and the over 60 years of experience that Quality Heating brings to your home. To get your new Armstrong Air Pro Series AC system installed right and right away.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality Heating, Quality Heating.
This is Anthony Zanevsky with Quality Heating. When you have over 20 HVAC techs working with you that each have over 20 years of experience, it gives you confidence to be able to go out there and talk reliability, integrity, value, all the things that matter when you hire someone to get the job done right the first time. These words mean everything to us, and we know they mean a lot to you. And that's what you'll get when you hire the man in the red van.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality Heating, Quality Heating.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Bank of America, the second largest bank in the country, is planning to expand into the Milwaukee and Madison markets. One of the locations will be at 7630 West Good Hope Road on Milwaukee's northwest side. A $350,000 grant from Bader Philanthropies will help the Hispanic professionals of Greater Milwaukee create a statewide Latino leadership program. The Green Bay Packers ranked 20th across NFL teams in a new Forbes report on NFL valuations. The Packers' valuation increased 8% year over year to $4.6 billion. In 2022, the team ranked 15th. I'm Margaret Nachuk with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
Business headlines sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today and visit thepfisterhotel.com.
The Pfister Hotel is proud to announce a series of renovations now underway that will elevate its guest experience with added elegance, approachable sophistication, and modern amenities that will blend effortlessly with the Pfister's iconic charm. With fully renovated ballrooms and meeting spaces, all new guest rooms in the historic tower, and exciting enhancements to the lobby and other common areas, all phases of this plan are expected to be completed by spring 2024. Milwaukee may have plenty of wonderful hotels, but make no mistake, there is only one Pfister Hotel.
Is it time to diversify your portfolio? Hi, I'm Dr. Aaron Armstrong with Steinbrenner Financial and your Dave Ramsey SmartVestor Pro. Tune into the Dave Ramsey program weeknights at 9 o'clock or visit steinbrennergroup.com to learn more.
Selling a home is stressful, difficult, and costly. The repairs, the showings, the months it takes. But there's an easier way, and you have nothing to lose to try it out. Grandview Homes will buy your home today completely as is. Call or visit grandviewhomes.com.
The place to get caught up, to speak out, to connect and be entertained. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 5 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News for Thursday, September 14th. Your top story, abortion returning to Wisconsin.
I'm Amy Taylor. The Wisconsin Senate votes, but will it mean anything?
We've got an accident on 94 eastbound at about 84th Street on the right shoulder. We've also got some cars on the left shoulder, too, through that area, so watch for those backups heading through that. We've also got westbound 94, solid out of the Marquette, all the way out to Hawley Road. Southbound 43, slowly but surely getting better, still very heavy from before Silver Spring all the way down through the Marquette and on to 4394. Round your road to downtown is going to take you 46 minutes, a 35-minute delay. And don't forget, if you happen to see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. Visit Hall Mazda to support their Drive Out Cancer event. I'm Debbie Lazigo with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Mainly clear and cool tonight, a low of 50 degrees inland, 54 near the lake. Mostly sunny, breezy, and warm for your Friday with a high of 80 degrees. It's 66 degrees in Milwaukee. At 5 o'clock, from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, developing story we've been following closely here on WTMJ. Abortion services will return to Wisconsin.
Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin says it will begin offering abortion services starting Monday. CEO Tanya Atkinson on WTMJ Now.
We announced this morning that Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin will be resuming abortion services at our Milwaukee and our Madison health centers. Appointments are open today. and the services will begin on Monday.
Atkinson says the decision to reoffer services stems from a ruling made by a judge in Dane County Circuit Court this past July. Now, the abortion case will ultimately end up before the state Supreme Court. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Meanwhile, Assembly Speaker Robin Vos says he's concerned with the decision to begin offering services since lawsuits are still pending.
If Planned Parenthood is so convinced that they are going to win at the state Supreme Court, that they are willing to break the law, which the law in the book still is the 1849 statute, it's just another reminder that some people flout the law whether or not it's on the books or not.
Vos says he expects private outside groups to challenge the decision.
The Wisconsin State Senate has voted 22-11 to oust Wisconsin Elections Commission Administrator Megan Wolf after an extended conversation on the validity of the vote.
22 ayes, 11 noes. The appointment of Megan Wolf is rejected.
The result of the vote was expected by many both inside and outside of the Senate chamber Thursday. However, Senator Mark Spreitzer of Beloit said before the roll call he saw no reason for the vote to even take place.
Regardless of any vote, Megan Wolf will continue in her position as long as she's willing to serve and as long as the bipartisan commission is willing to have her.
Nevertheless, the motion of rejection laid forth by Senate Majority Leader Devin Lemonhew was upheld by Senate Chair Chris Kapenga. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Megan Wolf speaking this afternoon after the vote, saying she'll stay in her position unless ordered to leave by a court.
During my 12 years working as a nonpartisan election official, I've learned that when politicians on either side of the aisle are upset with me, it's usually because I will not bend to political pressure. The Senate's vote today to remove me is not a referendum on the job I do, but rather a reaction to not achieving the political outcome they desire.
Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul today announcing the filing of a lawsuit seeking an order declaring that Wolf is lawfully staying in her current position, and the Senate has no power to vote to reject her.
It's going to be a few more weeks before Waukesha residents will have Lake Michigan water flowing through their pipes. The city will now transition from groundwater on October 9th. According to a statement from the Waukesha Water Utility, this delay allows them to set a firm date and allow residents and businesses time to prepare for the switch. The transition to the new supply of Lake Michigan water will move approximately 50 million gallons of water through the more than 300 miles of water mains over the course of several weeks, starting on the east side of Waukesha.
University of Wisconsin system enrollment increased this fall compared to the previous year, and for the first time since 2014, system president Jay Rothman.
I am particularly heartened by the 3% increase in first-year students when we exclude Madison, and Madison had managed its first-year class down due to capacity reasons, but that 3% increase across our other universities is great to see.
The 5 schools showing overall increases were Madison, where I'm still on the waiting list, Green Bay, Platteville, Stevens Point, and Whitewater, while several others showed modest decreases. Still a chance.
Still hoping.
Still a chance.
The first place Brewers add to their NL Central Division lead with a 4-2 win over the Marlins. Milwaukee takes 3 of 4 series and owns a 4-5 game lead over the Cubs for the first place in the division. Packers running back Aaron Jones and wide receiver Christian Watson not practicing today. Both players are nursing hamstring injuries.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 5:04.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats. Now through Wednesday, save on 8.2 to 16.5 ounce selected varieties Hostess snack cakes, 2 for $6. 3-count box selected varieties Pop Secret microwave popcorn, 2 for $5. 100 to 144.5 liquid or 42-count packs selected varieties Arm & Hammer laundry detergent, $8.99. 9 to 10 ounce selected varieties Green Giant steamed vegetables, 2 for $4.
Let's see, spices, cardamom, hibiscus powder. It's like looking at Green Bay's roster right now. I don't recognize it, but I'll learn to love it.
Attention Century shoppers. You're going to love this opportunity. Win 2 tickets to see Green Bay play Kansas City on December 3rd. Autographed Packers footballs or 4 packs of Hall of Fame tickets.
I'd love to see Green Bay's new QB in action and win those tickets. What do I do?
Find the weekly code on Century's Facebook or Instagram and enter to win.
Love it. Getting the Century code on Insta right now.
Ends November 14th.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
No! I ask one question, and you pounce and pressure me to buy a mattress I don't want.
But
you're all alike. What are you looking for? Firm or soft?
You know.
Back off, man!
Hassellus Mattress Showrooms are employee-free.
No salespeople?
And through Monday, get an extra $200 off in instant savings on Beautyrest, CertaPerfect Sleeper, or Sealy Posturepedic.
I do have a question.
Shoot.
Where have you been my whole life?
Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hassellus.com.
It's time for Extra Points, a sports commentary on Wisconsin's afternoon news. Here's Greg Matzek.
With 16 games to play, the Milwaukee Brewers have a 4.5-game lead over the Cubs for first place in the NL Central. 16 games for the Brewers, 15 for the Cubs. They'll meet up in Milwaukee for a 3-game series to round out the regular season. By virtue of their win today, the Brewers are 18 games above 500. It's kind of a magical moment in the season. They could play 500 baseball the rest of the way, barely average baseball, and still achieve 90 wins. Historically, 90 wins is enough to be a playoff team in the National League. Heck, 90 wins may be enough to win the division. With the Cubs 4 games back in the win column and 4.5 games back overall, the Brewers are starting to slowly but surely eke away, tacking on a half game here and a half game there for their border rivals. Do you want that series at the end of the season to mean anything? Well, perhaps you'd like all that drama at American Family Field. I'm cool if the Brewers clinch the division against the Cardinals the series prior. Set up your rotation. Get guys some much-needed rest. Coast your way to the finish. Do exactly what you want to do and what you feel is best for your team going into the postseason. Oh, by the way, if the Brewers do win the division, and I do believe they will, they'll host the number 6 seed in the National League playoffs. All 3 games would be played in Milwaukee. The incentive is there, and so is a talented team hurtling toward 90 wins. Extra Point sponsored by All Right Home and Remodeling. If you want it done right, call All Right.
Did you know that the Inflation Reduction Act can save you thousands on energy-efficient updates like new insulation, siding, windows, and more? And these dollars are in addition to Focus on Energy rebates. I'm Randy Miller, owner of All Right Home and Remodeling and S&E Insulation. As Department of Energy Century Club Award winners, my team has the proven skills and experience to help you take advantage of these unprecedented incentives. Get started at ALLRITE-remodeling.com.
Well-changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats. Now through Wednesday, save on 8.2 to 16.5 ounce selected varieties Hostess snack cakes, 2 for $6. 3-count box selected varieties Pop Secret microwave popcorn, 2 for $5. 100 to 144.5 liquid or 42-count packs selected varieties Arm & Hammer laundry detergent, $8.99. 9 to 10 ounce selected varieties Green Giant steamed vegetables, 2 for $4.
Let's see, spices. Cardamom, hibiscus powder. It's like looking at Green Bay's roster right now. I don't recognize it, but I'll learn to love it.
Attention Century shoppers. You're going to love this opportunity. Win 2 tickets to see Green Bay play Kansas City on December 3rd. Autographed Packers footballs or 4 packs of Hall of Fame tickets.
I'd love to see Green Bay's new QB in action and win those tickets. What do I do?
Find the weekly code on Century's Facebook or Instagram and enter to win.
Love it. Getting the Century code on Insta right now.
Ends November 14th.
To the best crew in baseball, this is for you. Join Brewers Fan Appreciation Weekend September 15th through the 17th. As a special thank you, enjoy buy one, get one beer on Friday the 15th. Gate giveaways all weekend, including 2024 Brewers ticket vouchers and a Fan Appreciation Night William Contreras bobblehead giveaway on Saturday the 16th. Grab your seats at brewers.com/fan appreciation.
Men's wedding bands made from whiskey barrels and meteorites.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here's Greg Matzek.
Greg Matzek and Amy Taylor with you for the rest of the week. How does that sound?
I think it sounds good. I just got an invitation today, so I'll be here tomorrow too.
Launch you into your weekend with a little bit of fun on Friday's program. A little shorter of a program than normal today due to Brewers baseball, but another win. This team keeps winning.
This is awesome.
Amy, we're going to have playoff baseball here in October. I was talking about it in Extra Points, but they've kind of jiggered the format, if you will, on Major League Baseball playoffs because they've added a wild card team. So if the Brewers win the division, they're not going to be better than the Braves or the Dodgers due to record, but they'll be the number 3 seed. That means they'll play the number 6 seed. And all 3 of those games, if there are 3, would be played in Milwaukee. They don't have to travel anywhere in that first series.
So
which would
exciting,
be cool.
right? So exciting for our town. And there's hope. Is there not hope?
There absolutely is hope. So get yourself to a Brewers game here. There's only a couple of series. So today was the second, or I should say wrapped up, the second to last homestand of the season. So
what a perfect day for baseball, too.
It's gorgeous.
Oh, it's just looking good.
Good afternoon, play hooky day. We've got tickets to give away. It is a Ticket Thursday giveaway here. So Brewers and Cardinals. Sam, what's the date on that? Is it the 26th? September 26th? September 29th, I'm sorry. So that's the Brewers-Cubs game then. Is that right? Brewers and Cubs, September 29th. So we're giving away 4 tickets to that game. Now, this could mean everything. It could mean that's the day the Brewers clinch. Hopefully they clinch before that. Who knows? But Brewers-Cubs, that could be a very meaningful series at the end of this season. That's a cool way to close out. To get the Cardinals, who have really not been good all season. But then the team that's right behind you in the standings, the Cubs, your division rival.
It's huge.
Right? I mean, that's everything.
It's everything. And it makes it just even more exciting to see if you can get those tickets.
All right. Well, here we go. So caller number 4. We'll make your life easy, Sam. Caller number 4, chime in on the talk and text line here. The Old National Bank talk and text line, 855-616-1620. 855-616-1620. 4 tickets for you for caller number 4. And you'll get to check out the Brewers and Cubs September 29th at American Family Field, the final series of the regular season. And if they end up going ahead and just clinching the division, they'll have an off day on October 2nd, and they would start the playoffs October 3rd, probably in the afternoon. That's the other thing about the playoffs, that first series. You get some weird sort of start time, so you might have a noon first
kind of
pitch.
fun.
You might have a 3 o'clock first pitch
Play
or
a little
something.
hooky.
Yes.
What do you think the odds of that happening are?
Well, it all depends on what the other series shape up to be, the way they kind of do it in the baseball playoff world, not unlike football or basketball. They go for TV ratings and primetime teams and giant markets. So if it's the Brewers and Diamondbacks, I would not be surprised if it were an afternoon game at American Family Field to kick things off.
Yeah.
But we shall see. And they would play night after night after night. If they had 3 games, it would be played on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So
Good times in Milwaukee.
Get them all running out like a normal series is what it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck. Hope you can be there. I'll be there. I'll look for you. It's 5:13 on WTMJ.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. I've got a great idea for some radio programming for you. Join me every Saturday at noon for Experience Wisconsin. We'll check in with communities and organizations from across Wisconsin for the best and brightest, the most fun spots around our state. This week we are joined by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino and also Elkhart Lake. Boy, are those both fun spots. It's Experience Wisconsin, Saturday at noon right here on 620 WTMJ.
Hey, we know radon is in your home. You got to get it out. And you can trust the folks at Lifetime Radon Solutions to do it for you, like they did for us. Greg Matzek here. The radon levels in our Menominee Falls home, they were way too high for our comfort level. And you can't smell it. You don't really know it's there. You have to get a test. And if the test yields high numbers, you'll want to get a mitigation system because radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States. So call Lifetime Radon Solutions. Have them come out and do a free, no-strings-attached, at-home test for you. You might need a mitigation system. You might not. But it'd be great to have peace of mind, right? Mitigation systems start as low as $9.95. They installed one at our house. Took just a few hours, as a matter of fact. And it was a great and simple, easy process. Check them out online at lifetimeradon.com. They're full of 5-star ratings. They do incredible work. They've done our house. They've done a number of homes in our subdivision, as a matter of fact. Yeah, word travels fast. Take care of your family. Give them a call. Lifetime Radon Solutions.
What's that sound?
That's the sweet sound of you, small business owner, not having to worry about cybersecurity.
Sounds nice.
U.S. Cellular is offering cybersecurity protection with unlimited data for $29.99 per line.
Does that include protection from phishing?
Of course, unless you mean like the kind. Get cybersecurity protection with unlimited data for $29.99. U.S. Cellular, built for business, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Hi there, it's Rose Gray from Fox World Travel. Let's explore the world together. Picture yourself traveling in style and luxury, embracing the beauty of the world and creating cherished memories with friends. We've curated one-of-a-kind immersive experiences just for you. Whether it's serene landscapes of Alaska, the enchanting history of Europe, the tropical paradise of Hawaii, the cultural wonders of Egypt, Japan, and Vietnam, or a breathtaking safari in South Africa, we've got it all. And that's not all. We offer diverse travel options from land to ocean and river journeys. Our award-winning Fox Group Vacation experts have collaborated with the best tour and cruise companies, including Insight Vacations, Globus, Avalon Waterways, Uniworld, and Holland America, to craft these extraordinary itineraries exclusively available at Fox. Visit foxworldtravel.com to explore our incredible collection or call 866-GO-FOXGO to speak with one of our knowledgeable travel advisors. The world is waiting for you, and we can't wait to embark on this thrilling adventure together. Let's explore the world together. Start your journey today.
Traffic sponsored by Weniger Compressor, the Midwest air compressor experts. Visit pressureisoff.biz. Weniger Compressor salutes business owners who put the I can in American while treating their customers right.
Call up the boys at Weniger Compressor.
It is 5:17. It is quitting time, rush hour time. Debbie, how are the roads?
Yeah, rush hour is right, and it's not that much rushy, but definitely full in. We've got an accident on 94 eastbound at 84th Street. It's off on the right shoulder. Got some cars on the left as well, so basically going to be slow right through that area. And then you are also going to see more delays right through the stadium interchange to about 35th Street. Westbound 94. Looks like we've got an accident on the ramp to northbound 175 in the stadium interchange. Off on the right shoulder, but something to keep in mind. Southbound 43, riding the brakes. 43 minutes, Brown Deer Road to downtown, a 32-minute backup. Delays kicking in at Silver Spring, pretty much all the way down through the Marquette. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Clear and comfortable tonight with a low of 50 degrees inland, a little warmer near the lake, maybe 54 or so. Going to be in the mid-70s tomorrow. There is a chance of rain late in the evening on Saturday with a high of 80 degrees. It's 65 degrees in Milwaukee at 518. A major local story that we've been following today on Wisconsin's afternoon news and throughout the day in the newsroom. Wisconsin's largest provider of abortion has announced today it would be resuming services in the state after Dane County judge signaled in July she did not believe the state's abortion law actually bans consensual procedures like those performed at Planned Parenthood. Abortions have been unavailable in Wisconsin for more than a year after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. That is going to change in the state of Wisconsin. But how soon? We welcome in Tanya Atkinson. She's the executive director of Planned Parenthood. Hi, Tanya.
Hi.
First of all, can you describe your reaction to the news today?
Well, we're very excited to be able to have announced that we will be resuming abortion care beginning this Monday, September 18th.
So, Tanya, I found this to be a major, almost shocking headline because it's been since 2022 that women did not have access to abortion in Wisconsin. And it sort of hit me between the eyes that Planned Parenthood is moving ahead with their ability to help women seek abortions. Why did it happen now?
Yeah, so thank you so much, Amy. When Roe was overturned and Planned Parenthood had to make Planned Parenthood and other, any other healthcare provider that provided abortion, when Planned Parenthood had to make a really agonizing decision to suspend abortion services because the law, the 1849 law, was unclear whether it was enforceable, and it was a felony for physicians and providers. It's an agonizing decision to to have to suspend those services. And when we had to suspend those services, we made a commitment to the people of Wisconsin that as soon as we were able to find a legal path forward to resume providing care, that we would do that. And there were two paths. One was legislative. That path isn't available right now. And the second was legal. And when the Attorney General filed this lawsuit, and subsequently the Dane County Circuit Court twice has made it very clear that this the 1849 law does not apply to voluntary abortions. When that was clear, when it was analyzed by the legal community, when it, in consultation with physicians and stakeholders, when that was clear, we knew it was time to resume providing care again in the state of Wisconsin.
Tanny, we know it's a very controversial topic. Have you received any backlash? Has Planned Parenthood received any backlash?
We have received so much gratitude from across the state of Wisconsin. Our emails, our phones, social media. The people of Wisconsin, they know firsthand. This decision was made specifically because of patient care, and the patients have been what is absolutely the most important factor in making this decision. Healthcare is at the center of it, and the gratitude that we are receiving today is underscores what we've known all along, is that the people of Wisconsin want safe and legal abortions available here in our home state, in our backyard, because whether somebody is needing an abortion themselves, or whether it's a friend or a family member or a relative or a loved one, seeing firsthand the impact of not having access to abortion in Wisconsin. So what we have been seeing more than anything today is deep gratitude, and of course this is an entire community that that does this work. It's not one organization alone.
Tanya, I want to talk to you a little bit about what that impact has been. What has been happening for women who needed health care, who needed access to an abortion? They've been having to go to other states. What has been happening?
Yeah, I mean, it's been devastating. It's put up so many barriers. And when Roe was overturned, Planned Parenthood Wisconsin began a navigator program and incredible support from organizations and funds across the state to try to remove as many barriers for people as possible. Our healthcare providers were traveling to Illinois on a regular basis to work with our partners at Planned Parenthood of Illinois. All of those things combined still does not remove barriers, and it doesn't remove the injustice of people in Wisconsin having to travel to other states to access this essential health care. So it's been devastating, and we know that it's been insurmountable. Those barriers have been insurmountable for some people, and it's been not only women and people across the gender spectrum who need an abortion. We've seen the impact. The medical colleges, the medical schools in Wisconsin have been clear that they also immediately started seeing the impact on students' desire to study OBGYN in Wisconsin.
Tanya Atkinson is the executive director for Planned Parenthood. Tanya, did you expect this news today? Were you able to prepare in any way?
So we've been planning for this for some time. So we knew when the time was right. We were able to set the date, so we set the date ourselves. So we've been preparing for this. We've been preparing for this for some time.
So as far as it proceeds legally, this judge, Dane County Judge Diane Schlipper, she's sort of opened the door for you by saying this law does not prohibit a consensual medical abortion. I just want to ask you about the thinking of that a little bit, which is is the idea that there are two parties that agree and their patient is consenting with the doctor, and therefore it's not a murder, if you will. Is that the legal argument?
So murder was not really, a part of this situation or decision. And I certainly, I'm not an attorney, so I can't, speak for the judge. So I think,
or a feticide, I think, is probably a better choice of words.
Yeah. So Planned Parenthood Wisconsin has contended all along that we did not believe that the law was enforceable. However, it was unclear, and there needed to be clarification. And the judge made it clear that the law is not enforceable for voluntary abortions. So that provided the clarity that was needed. We're very confident in our decision to continue to move forward and provide care beginning on Monday.
Tanya Atkinson, the Executive Director for Planned Parenthood in Wisconsin. Tanya, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for reaching out. Appreciate you.
It's 5:25 on WTMJ. We'll get you a market update coming up in just a moment.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love my dogs, Bella and Baxter, an important part of our family. They're kind of like kids sometimes, and like kids, they weren't always listening, but I've got it figured out now. Thanks to Matt and his teams at Sit Means Sit Dog Training, our dogs are better behaved. They don't bark as much. They just listen better. They're happy, confident, obedient. Our house is a better house. Sit Means Sit Dog Training turned it around for us. Let them do the same for you. You can start with a free consultation. The website is sitmeanssitwaukesha.com. Sitmeanssitwaukesha.com.
Here's a penny for your thoughts. There's about 11,000 tire-related crashes every year.
Mostly due to driving around on underinflated, beat-up, worn-out tires with low tread.
A couple of clicks at richlawns.com will get you scheduled for a free tire tread test.
But if you're pressed for time, there's an old trick we use in the tire industry that'll tell you if you need tires.
And that's free, too.
My dad showed me, who learned it from his dad, who learned it from someone else way back in 1964.
Ah, yes. The old penny test.
Yep, just place a penny head first.
As in upside down.
Into the groove of your tire. Now, if you can see the top of Lincoln's head, you're due for tires.
And hey, if the free penny test frazzles you, book an appointment at richlawns.com.
If your tires are good,
no harm, no foul, because it won't cost you a penny. Be safe, buckle up, and hang. Always make sure you've got good tread in your tires. I'm Brett Matchke with Rich Lawns. You're
due for service.
Such a refreshing change. Rich Lawns.
Time for an Annex Wealth Management market update. A good day. Everything closing in the green. The Dow up 331 points to close at 34,907.11. The Nasdaq up 112 points and change to close at 13,926.05. S&P 500 also up today, back over 4,500, closing at 45,0510, up 37.6 points. Annex Wealth Management. Trust a fiduciary and visit them online at annexwealth.com.
Let's face it, selling a home is stressful, difficult, and costly. The repairs, the showing your home to strangers, the months it takes to get to closing. And then what do you do with the 20 years of belongings you've accumulated? There's an easier way, and you have nothing to lose to try it out. Grandview Homes will give you a no-obligation, fair cash offer and close on the day you choose. We buy your home completely as is, no repairs whatsoever. Take the belongings you want and leave the stress and the mess to us. Call or visit grandviewhomes.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Garage door broke. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Geis. Need a new garage door. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new CHI maintenance-free garage door. In fact, a recent study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%, ranking #1 among all home improvement projects. To see our huge selection of doors, come visit us at our Brookfield location or view our online showroom at GeisDoors.com. We have everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, call Geis at 262-784-4250 or visit us online at GeisDoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Traffic is sponsored by Evans Transportation Services. Thank heavens for Evans.
Rely on one company for accounting, shipping, and tracking. Evans Transportation Services. Family owned for 40 years and continuing to grow. Evans Transportation Services in Delafield.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm Wyatt Barmore Pooley. Your top story, a surprising decision from Planned Parenthood.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Eastbound on 94, still dealing with this accident on 84th Street. Cars on the right and left, so watch for that. We've also got on westbound 94, the ramp to 175 northbound in the Stadium interchange, an accident off on the right shoulder on that ramp as well. Heavy ride southbound 43 from Silver Spring pretty much all the way down through the Marquette interchange, all the way down to the KK River. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic.
Tonight, mainly clear and cool, a low of 54 at the lake, 50 degrees inland. Friday, mostly sunny, breezy, and warm, a high of 80 degrees. It is 67 degrees here in Milwaukee at 5:30. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a developing story we've been following all day here on WTMJ. Abortion services are returning to Wisconsin.
Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin says it will begin offering abortion services starting Monday. CEO Tanya Atkinson on WTMJ Now.
We announced this morning that Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin will be resuming abortion services at our Milwaukee and our Madison health centers. Appointments are open today, and the services will begin on Monday.
Atkinson says the decision to reoffer services stems from a ruling made by a judge in Dane County Circuit Court this past July. Now, the abortion case will ultimately end up before the state Supreme Court. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Assembly Speaker Robin Vos saying he's concerned with that decision to begin offering services since lawsuits are still pending.
If Planned Parenthood is so convinced that they are going to win at the state Supreme Court, that they are willing to break the law, which the law in the book still is the 1849 statute, it's just another reminder that some people flout the law whether or not it's on the books or not.
Vos says he's expecting a challenge to this decision from private outside groups. The Wisconsin State Senate this afternoon voting 22-11 to oust Wisconsin Elections Commission Administrator Megan Wolf after an extended conversation in the Senate chamber on the validity of said vote. Megan Wolf speaking this afternoon after saying she will stay in her position until the legal process plays out.
We cannot head into 2024 elections without a final determination of where the law stands regarding the correct course for the position of administrator.
Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul already filing a lawsuit seeking an order declaring that Wolf is lawfully staying in her current position and that the Senate has no power to vote to reject her as she is appointed by the commission itself. Another Southeast Wisconsin criminal case delayed due to a lack of available public defenders.
Earlier this month, a preliminary hearing for a homicide case tied to a gas station shooting in Milwaukee was delayed because the defendant didn't have a public defender. Now a Racine child neglect case is being held up for the same reason. Stephen Berto and Sandra Lemke had their preliminary hearing rescheduled Wednesday because of a lack of available attorneys. State Public Defender Thomas Reed said earlier this month the shortage began with the pandemic.
We have a lot of places where we have more cases than we do lawyers.
Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
It'll be a few more weeks before Waukesha residents will have Lake Michigan water flowing through their pipes. The city will now transition from groundwater on October 9th. According to a statement from the Waukesha Water Utility, this delay allows them to set a firm date and allow residents and businesses time to prepare for the switch. The transition to the new supply of Lake Michigan water will move approximately 50 million gallons of water through more than 300 miles of water mains over the course of several weeks, starting on the east side in Waukesha. University of Wisconsin system enrollment increased this fall compared to the previous year for the first time since 2014. System President Jay Rothman.
I am particularly heartened by the 3% increase in first-year students when we exclude Madison, and Madison had managed its first-year class down due to capacity reasons, but that 3% increase across our other universities is great to see.
The 5 schools showing overall increases were Madison, Green Bay, Platteville, Stevens Point, and Whitewater. Several others, including UW-Milwaukee, showing modest decreases. I'm Wyatt Barmar-Pooley, citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:34.
This report sponsored by Pella of Wisconsin. Discover Pella now, pay later at PellaWI.com.
What advice would you give somebody that you know that's window shopping?
I'd have to say Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin plays at an MVP level in the replacement game. They came in ahead of time, measured all the windows, make sure they had all of the measurements. When the Pella people left, You had no idea they had been here. You just had the new window. They're great professionals, Gina, and some of the best in the world at what they do.
Right now, pay as low as $19 a month per window or $75 per month on patio doors. Visit PellaWI.com today. Pella's team of expert installers start with an in-home consultation and finish with no hassle or mess, leaving nothing but perfect results that stand the test of time. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, pay as low as $19 per window and $75 per month on patio doors. Visit PellaWI.com today.
$6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers end 9/30/2023.
Hey, John Mercuri here for Town Bank. Town Bank, I've been with Town Bank for more than 10 years. I just trust the teams at Town Bank. How often do you check your savings account and wonder if you're saving at all? At Town Bank, they view banking differently. They want to see you grow your savings account by providing the best CD rates. It's time to stop banking the same way and time to start earning more. Your finances, they know at Town Bank, are a really big deal to you, so make sure it's a really big deal for your bank as well. Town Bank offers the latest and greatest CD rates. Call them today to ensure you get their best rate. Town Bank also knows when you're working toward a financial goal that every little bit counts. When you open a Total Access checking account at Town Bank, you get free ATMs nationwide and a $300 sign-on bonus. This is my checking account. I love it. It's so convenient when I travel. Town Bank, part of the Wintrust family of community banks. To learn more, visit townbank.us. It's townbank.us, or stop by your local Town Bank branch today. Town Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Town Bank is Wisconsin's bank. It's Town Bank.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. A couple years ago, my knee was acting up. As an athlete, I've played through pain before, but it was getting to the point where I couldn't compete in the sports I loved. I decided to check out Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It's the best decision I've made. I felt no pressure to have surgery. That was important to me. We had choices. I ultimately did choose to have a procedure. I was in and out in just hours and back in action shortly after. I recommend meeting their doctors. Visit orthowisconsin.com today.
When it's time for a new lawnmower, buying local is important. Purchasing one from Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment means you're well taken care of after the sale. Their knowledgeable staff handles the warranty and parts, can answer all of your questions, and is available to do tune-ups and repairs. Check out the impressive line of lawnmowers on display at the Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment showroom in Muskego. And tune in to the Fix-It Show this Saturday morning at 7, when an expert from Olson's will answer all your power equipment questions.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
.38 on WTMJ. Greg Madzik and Amy Taylor with you. We'll be back again tomorrow, rounding out your week.
Am I sitting in for you, or am I sitting in for
this
John?
Works. So I'm kind of, I guess I'm sort of in place of John, and you're sort of in place of me, I guess.
Sort of. I can't do what you do, though, pal. No way.
I think I just look at it like two friends doing a show together and having a good time doing it.
Yeah, we're both sitting here.
That's it. Sometimes I stand.
Yeah,
the microphone doesn't always get up to my height, unfortunately. That might be a design
that's a
flaw
weird,
here.
Isn't it? I want it to have arms and bend it's strange, but whatever.
But our whole studio desk could go up and down.
Right?
We'll
That'd be
see.
nice.
Temperature is going a little up and down into the 40s last night. That was refreshing. Brian Isnansky joins us, TMJ4 chief meteorologist.
What's up, guys?
Brian, I needed to ask you a couple nights ago, maybe it was last night. No, it was a couple nights ago. I knew there was some rain in the forecast. Dude, it poured at our house in Menominee Falls.
Mm-hmm.
Lightning, there was some thunder. That was way more than I expected. It was kind of cool. I just wasn't expecting it.
Well, I don't know who you were listening to because I had downpours in my forecast.
I knew that was coming.
Isn't that strange?
You must have been somewhere else. I don't know.
I read temperatures in the forecast.
Are you cheating on me?
I go through this 20 times a day, and my wife Emily will ask me, "Hey, what's the weather?" I was like, "I don't know. I got nothing."
Ask Brian.
Yeah, it's okay because honestly, we got some crew here, like some floor crew. This guy I work with in the morning. Sometimes when I do the morning show, I mean, we're literally not on TV. TV for almost 3 hours, and I had, I don't know, 30 weather hits, and the guy will be like, after the fact, he'll be like, hey, so I'm going to go for a bike ride today. Is it going to be dry or this and that? It's like, dude, where you been the last 3 hours? I must not. Yeah, go for it.
No, I was
Sorry.
just saying it's like pressing play for you. You know what I mean? Like, it's just go, Brian, and Niz has it, you know?
Yeah. Oh, it's totally fine. I like helping people out with that, but I'm like, man, I just literally set the forecast, like, I don't know, for 3 straight hours, but maybe it's the messenger. I'm not conveying the message good enough. Who knows?
So, Niz, how much have you been paying attention to Hurricane Lee? Because we were looking at this maybe about a week ago, and it sort of pivoted to the north. Like, is it a major rain event for the East Coast, especially the Northeast?
Yeah, and they're going to be dealing with some pretty nasty currents too, like rip currents. I don't think, obviously, their advice there is going to be like stay out of the water, and it's just going to be really choppy out that way. With Lee, right now it's a minimal hurricane, Category 1 hurricane. As it starts to race its way farther north, it gradually is going to lose its tropical characteristics. But I do think it's possible that this thing still makes landfall as an official tropical storm anywhere from like Maine to Nova Scotia. So, I mean, not unprecedented, but definitely rare to get a tropical system to carry that far north. And it happens. It has to happen this time of year when the water temperatures are at its warmest. So for that to happen is pretty rare, but not unprecedented.
Are the water spouts done? That was kind of fun.
Probably not. I mean, I'm not saying I don't have water spouts in the forecast. However, we have like a mini water spout season. It's
we do?
when we have these. Yeah. Yeah. So we have. It's like, yeah, totally. So really the main thing that you need is you need the water temperature to be warmer than the air temperature. And that happens, I mean, in the fall when the water temperature is still sitting at 70 and we have these cool mornings at like 50 degrees. So what happens is the air above the water starts to rise because it's warmer than the air around it. And that causes instability to happen. Next thing you know, you have a perfectly sheared environment, and then you get the water spouts. So that window will eventually close come wintertime or come later on this fall. But over these next couple weeks, you get a little bit of instability to go. Certainly water spouts are possible.
That's really cool. I didn't know that. And I don't know what a sheared environment is either, to be honest with you.
That's okay.
Learning a lot.
We can break that down. What you need is a change of wind direction or a change in wind speed.
Cool.
So you get that to happen, and that could just spawn just enough rotation to get that thing going.
Well, beautiful day today. It was gorgeous. It looked like a gorgeous day at American Family Field. Looking like a pretty good start to the weekend, too.
It sure does. Again, awesome outside today. Blue skies. Tonight, not as cold as the last couple nights. Relatively cold. Low temperatures will be like right around 54 in Milwaukee. Inland, maybe 50. Friday, mostly sunny, breezy, and warm, a high of 80. Saturday, partly cloudy. Chance of showers and storms, mainly late, a high of 74. Sunday, partly cloudy, 68. Monday, sunny skies and 65. So weekend, Saturday's the day to keep an eye on for some showers and storms. I don't expect it to be a washout. You want to know a little bit more about shear? Think of it this way with the water spout. You have like a 2-liter bottle of, you've ever seen the 2-liter bottles and you try to make a tornado out of it?
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Have you ever done that before?
My kids
so
have.
if you just turn it upside down or whatever, you kind of get a little bubble to go or whatever. Well, what you need is like just a little bit of a swirl. So you give it the swirl. That's your shear. That's what you want.
That's a very helpful analogy. Thank you.
That was
Okay.
now I see it. Now I can picture it in my head.
I love it.
Niz, you've helped us.
You're welcome, guys.
All right, take care. It's Brian Niznansky,
See you guys.
TMJ4 Chief Meteorologist. Ben Brust joins us coming up on the other side. That's right, it's Green and Gold Insiders. Little Packers talk to round out your day on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
Vince Vitrano here from Wisconsin's Morning News, reminding you to subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News podcast. We update it every day with every segment, every interview, and every bit we do on the show. Wait, we don't do bits on the show.
If my intelligence is artificial, then why am I smarter than you?
Absolutely boat racing.
Let's go. Come on, let's go.
All right, maybe we do some bits.
F you.
Subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News podcast wherever you get your podcasts or listen live on WTMJ.com.
Welcome to our Everyday Health feature sponsored by the Froedtert and the Medical College Wisconsin Health Network. If you've been diagnosed with cancer or a loved one has cancer, you know how overwhelming it can be. There are important decisions to be made, including where to get treatment and what treatment is best for you. You might wonder about the value of getting a second opinion on cancer. Well, Dr. Carrie Peterson, a colorectal surgeon with the Froedtert and the Medical College Wisconsin Health Network, is here to help us sort it out. Dr. Peterson, first of all, thanks for being with us. What can a person expect from a cancer second opinion with the Froedtert and the Medical College Wisconsin Health Network?
Jeff, thanks so much for inviting me today. Really appreciate it. First, our doctors will review your medical records and then meet with you, perhaps do another exam, and they'll talk to you about the different treatment options that are available. The goal is to put your priorities and goals in perspective with what the different treatment options are that are available. In that way, patients can have all of the information that they can use to make a decision that's best for them. The feeling of being overwhelmed and lots of anxiety is incredibly common among cancer patients.
Dr. Peterson, when's the right time to get a cancer second opinion?
Well, ideally, it would be great if you could get it before you started treatment, but sometimes that's just not possible. Getting it done at any time during your treatment is always an option. So if you are ever having some questions about your treatment plan or wondering if there's something else out there, or if you've been told that there are no other options, those are great times to think about a second opinion.
Should patients ever be afraid of asking questions, doctor?
Absolutely not. I encourage patients to have questions. You should always be able to ask any question of your physician. And so especially if you come for a cancer second opinion, bring a list of questions along with you, because I find that that is a great way to be sure that we address all of the needs.
Dr. Peterson, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
Find a doctor who's right for you by visiting Froedtert.com/cancer. Traffic and weather. Our final look at the roads here. It's 546. Debbie's got it. Hey, Deb.
Hey there. Hi there. Yeah, we've got still this accident at 84th Street. We've got basically cars on the right and left. It's really just backing up into the Zoo interchange a bit. The problem is it stays heavy all the way through the Stadium interchange. On the westbound side, it's going to be slow out of the Marquette through the Stadium as well. Southbound 43 hitting the brakes at Bender Road all the way down through the Marquette onto 4394. Right now, Brown Deer Road to downtown, that's a 35-minute ride. That is going to be a pretty hefty one. And then another 12 to get from downtown to Layton Avenue. Slow speeds on the bypass, too, from Greenfield all the way down and around the Hale interchange to about Forest Home. That's where the soonest that it actually eases up. You can help out your fellow commuters. Report accidents and slowdowns to the Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. Visit Hall Mazda to support their Drive Out Cancer event. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
It's Green and Gold Insiders on a Thursday. Time to check in with Ben Brust, ESPN Wisconsin, co-host of KBN. That's Kyle Brust and Nortman, 2 to 5 on 94.5 ESPN. It's a brand new show. You need to get like hoodies or a mug or something like that, right? Get some stuff out there.
We're on day 4 right now,
right.
So you can't get it all right when you start. You gotta earn some revenue. You know, stuff isn't free in this world.
Packers are 1.5-point favorites for their game on Sunday in Atlanta against the first-place Falcons. The Packers were underdogs going to Chicago against a terrible Bears team. They blow them out, Ben. But here we go. Game number 2 of the Jordan Love era, and the Packers are favored on the road. I like how that looks anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Packer fan, week 1 could not have gone any better, right? I thought in all 3 phases, offense, defense, special teams even, like it felt weird to see them like put together a game in special teams. I was like, this is new. What I will caution is I think the Bears are no good. Justin Fields wasn't able to do anything. The Packers took advantage of that. So you have to give them credit because you can only play who's on your schedule. Eventually, you're going to face adversity. This is Jordan Love's first road game as a starter for this year. Obviously, he played in Kansas City, which isn't a great way to like use that as like a, hey, his one start against Kansas City on the road, look what he did. Well, you know, that was short preparation, second year. Rodgers had COVID, and then I think he probably showed you his toe if you were at that press conference. Right. So I just think I'm intrigued to see how this team does handling adversity. They won the turnover battle. They did everything right in week 1. That's not football. Football, you have to take a hit, and how are you going to get back up? And Jordan Love hasn't taken a hit figuratively and literally from a turnover standpoint, from getting sacked. Like, it's going to be an intriguing game to see his progression in week 2.
Convincing road win in week 1. Definitely enough Packers fans where you could hear them in Chicago. Probably going to be a little louder in the Dome in week 2. I wouldn't imagine as many Packers fans. I want to get your thoughts on David Bakhtiari. He has turned into this, like, sort of grumpy and grizzled veteran. He's been the most outspoken member of the Packers roster, really, the entire offseason. He doesn't really want to be a part of a rebuild. Maybe he is now seeing something in this team that he maybe didn't see before. He's certainly very tight with Aaron Rodgers. We get that. But dude doesn't practice, doesn't play in preseason games, and then he just, like, pitches a shutout against the Bears in week 1. He's flipping off the crowd like... It's just like...
He's all over the map.
He really is.
If we're being honest,
I don't know what to make of him anymore.
I honestly, I don't either, because even this week he spoke with Rich Eisen on the Rich Eisen Show, and he talked about how, Jordan Love has now set the expectations based off he did in week 1. And I was like, I don't love that, right? That was his first start against a bad Bears team. He had 3 touchdowns, about 240 in the air, That's a tough spot to put your quarterback who you want to grow with. I think just saying, hey, Jordan Love played great. I thought our offensive line gave him the best opportunity to be successful. He is not doing any coach speak, and I love it from a chance that we get to talk about it. In the summer, he's talking about, we're rebuilding, and now he said we're rebuilding after Rodgers, but we have 10. He can't figure out where he's at. I think he... at his point in his career, right, wants to be a part of something that's going towards a championship. And this isn't a Super Bowl winning team, but you can be encouraged by week 1 and the signs of them growing. I think he's just caught in the middle of all right, I better start embracing Packer fans and what's going on in front of me, because really I'm the only one that kind of had a negative feel and a negative output towards, what this team was doing when Jordan Love and all the young guys and all the offense, and they were going up to Door County and partying together. He's just kind of on an island being that veteran with one of the youngest teams in the NFL. As long as he keeps protecting Jordan Love, that's all Packer fans should be caring about.
Does he need to be a leader? You know all about this. Sometimes one of the best players or the best player on a team isn't necessarily the best leader on the team. Does he need to be more of a leader just because he's got the All-Pros and all the accolades?
I don't think so. I think he can just lead with his actions in terms of protecting Jordan Love. I think it sounds like Jordan Love is the leader already, right? I think even watching him get the game ball in the locker room, it wasn't just the offensive side of the football of players in there that were like, yeah, Jordan, the team really is rallied around Jordan Love. And I think that's really important because obviously on the defense, I would say the leaders from an outspoken standpoint is Jair and Rasul Douglas. They do the most chirping, they do the most talking on the field, off the field, and they've created that sort of identity. That's not Jordan Love's approach. So I think the identity and the leadership, it's with number 10.
2 numbers for you. Packers minus 1.5, they're favored on the road. You like it or no?
I don't. Again, I think the Bears were so bad that, I don't know what I learned other than what they're capable of against a team that didn't pressure Jordan Love. The question marks around Aaron Jones and Christian Watson, eventually the youth is going to catch up to them in terms of, not that they're going to lose games, but there's going to be adversity. And I don't know how the youth is going to handle adversity yet because we just haven't seen it. I just thought the Bears were so bad it wasn't a true barometer of what 17 games is going to look like.
It'll be a different road environment, that's for sure. It's a dome. It's a different game down there.
Yeah,
Fewer Packers fans.
Dome or not, again, it's just Jordan Love has such a small sample size when we think about it. We've had joint practices, 3 preseason games where he had 3 good series, but there was also 2 series in there where he was growing. He's going to take some bumps. He's taken no bumps, and I imagine not everything's going to go perfect in week 2 like it did in week 1. If it did, that's football. Eventually we'll come back the other side. It all evens out. I say that with reffing. I say that with turnovers. But again, I need a bigger sample size before I start declaring this defense is going to continue to create turnovers. And this special team, Anders Carlson is a rookie. He's going to continue to hit bombs from 50. He struggled in the preseason. It was 1 game. I try to take a step back and say, look, let's not overreact because there are teams that go 2-0 and don't make the playoffs. There are teams that go 0-2 and do make the playoffs. So I am in the wait-and-see approach. That's why I would go with the home dog.
40.5 on the over-under. Do you like that over, or do you like the under?
I like the under here. It seems like it's like asking you to take the over based off a 38-20 game that they played in Chicago. But Atlanta's defense showed some promise. They had a defensive player of the week and a safety that had caused 3 turnovers. And with that, I just think, it's going to get a little gucky. Especially if there's no Aaron Jones and Christian Watson. That uncertainty leads me to a little bit of a nastier type game, especially if there's no Aaron Jones. Like, A.J. Dillon isn't going to get you those 20-plus yard runs. If he plays better than 11 carries and 18 yards, which hopefully he does, he's getting you, those 4 or 5 yards, more third and short situations where you're able to pick up first downs. It's just going to be a little bit more yucky of a game, I feel.
All right, you got a show to get back to. It's KBN on ESPN Wisconsin, airing right now, amazingly. We borrowed Ben for about 10 minutes. Back to KBN, Kyle Brust and Nortman on 94.5 ESPN in Milwaukee. Thanks, man.
Matt, it's always a pleasure.
Out of time on today's program. Shortened version of Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Amy and I are back again tomorrow. The news is next on WTMJ, followed by WTMJ Nights, Brewers Weekly at 8 o'clock.
Do you check your savings account and wonder if you're even saving at all? At Town Bank, we view banking differently and actually want to see your savings grow. With our amazing new CD rates, you can now earn even more, so you can sit back and relax. Stop banking the same way, expecting different results, and start earning more. Go to townbank.us/locknewrates or visit a Town Bank branch nearest you today. Bank differently with Town Bank. Member FDIC.
Home is where the heart is. Family meals, laughter, and warm memories. As your local contractor that's been around for 40 years, J&J Contractors has been helping families create new memories for generations to come by reimagining your kitchen space for baking holiday cookies with the family or opening up your lower level for friend and neighbor entertainment. Whatever the project is, J&J Contractors does it with top-of-the-line craftsmanship. Just Google J&J Contractors to see their reviews for impeccable work and outstanding communication.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Bank of America, the second largest bank in the country, is planning to expand into the Milwaukee and Madison markets. One of the locations will be at 7630 West Good Hope Road on Milwaukee's northwest side. A $350,000 grant from Bader Philanthropies will help the Hispanic professionals of Greater Milwaukee create a statewide Latino leadership program. The Green Bay Packers ranked 20th across NFL teams in a new Forbes report on NFL valuations. The Packers' valuation increased 8% year over year to $4.6 billion. In 2022, the team ranked 15th. I'm Margaret Nachak with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
Oh, how great it would feel to have your 20-year-old knees, shoulders, hips, and back.
You don't think about your pains when you're in your 20s or 30s, but you wish you could get that body back when you're in your 60s. I think QC did that for me.
For Patrick, here in Milwaukee, it started with a simple phone call to QC Kinetics.
One day I was driving and I just heard the radio and I pulled over and took the number and I called them when I got home.
Maybe that's you, and you're listening right now. Why wait? QC Kinetics Regenerative Treatments uses your body's own natural biologics to heal and restore damaged tissue without invasive surgery or harmful drugs. And as for the results,
my knees are as good as they were when I was in my 20s. I'm really happy with what happened.
For Patrick, it's like QC Kinetics turned back the clock. Now it's your turn. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.